Hi, welcome to Rajal Naik. In today's video, I am going to discuss about how the effort estimation will be made, especially on agile environment. As we all know, nowadays, whenever we are working on the projects nowadays, it is always most of the organizations are using agile environment, right? So, because if you want to manage teams and all everything, they are following its agile environment. In this agile environment, there are different frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, XP, Extreme Programming, right? So at the same time, RUP, Rational Unified Process, right? So different frameworks and processes are we using. So as part of agile environment, whenever we are working on Scrum, because Scrum is nothing but it's a kind of framework, as we all know. Scrum is a kind of framework which widely used across industries for application development. So wherein this Scrum framework, usually we have three different roles. Let me explain you about the roles on a high level note, then I'll go to the effort estimation. Product owner will be there. At the same time, development team will be there here, followed by Scrum Master. So these are the three different roles we can see. So product owner is the person who defines the goal and vision of the product. Whatever the product you are going to develop, defining the goal and vision of the product will be done by the product owner. At the same time, Scrum team, nothing but a combination of development team, testing team, all that. So these people's responsibility is to complete the task which was taken by them and all that. The third thing about Scrum Master more or less managing the team. Whatever the impediments they have and all, everything will be rectified by the Scrum Master, and they have to ensure capacity planning because whatever the team is working on the tasks or user stories, all that. So the effort estimation, capacity planning, velocities, right? All these things will be done. So for that, there are different Scrum ceremonies we have. Of course, I made a video, couple of videos relating to Agile in my previous videos. You can go through that so that you'll have an idea. And I'll forward. I'll give you in the description below. I will give you the links to you relating to Agile so that you can have a glance. In that, there is generally which normally we call it a sprint planning, one of the Scrum ceremony which normally we follow. Sprint planning means where we have to plan the particular sprint. So whenever we are planning the sprint, there is an effort estimation which normally we follow. So for the tasks, what we have to do. So whenever we want to do this effort estimation, there are two things. One is either effort estimation can be done for user stories, and even you can minimize the user story into task and we can write it. So when we are talking about user stories and all effort estimation, so for that we have to give some story points, right? So story points will be given. To give story points and all, we follow business value and complexity because it depends on the kind of business value what it has, followed by the technical complexity to complete the particular user story. Story points will be given. Otherwise, if it is not user story, if you have divided this into task and all, you can calculate this in hours and days. Right? So this is how generally that effort estimation we have to do. Now in today's video, I'm going to explain you about user story points, because most of the people who are working under agile environment, uh, some people may not have, I don't say that everybody, some people may not have an idea how these story points will be uh, taken into an account and how generally follow. Because whenever we want to give the story points and all everything, there are techniques we follow. One is poker gaming technique, and second was t-shirt sizing. T-shirt sizing means, as we all know, like L, XL, M, right? S. This is how generally the technique is. T-shirt sizing. So poker gaming and t-shirt sizing are the two different techniques which will be useful for us to effort estimation. So now in this video, I'm going to show you poker gaming, how this can be used and all played. So for that, I have taken a trial version. So on that, I'm going to show you. So whenever you want to create any effort estimation for the team work, what people have taken, etc., etc. So first of all, we need to create a team. Here you can see there is an option called create add team. Of course, there was already one team was added, but I'm adding one more team, right? Adding team, right? So here I have taken an existing organization, or else if you want to take a new organization, you can take it, right? So for example, Illinois is what I was taken, right? So this is what the organization was. Now we have to provide a team name. So for example, Agile 2, right? So this is what the team name I have given here. So once we have given the team name and all that, so what we can do, we can invite people to the team, because first of all, when we are working on the application development, there are multiple people who are involved in it, so that we have to invite those people to the existing ones. So what I'm taking is I'm inviting people. Of course, I'm giving my own email IDs here. At the same time, I'm giving my own email IDs, where you can see there is an option called create team and org. So you can see here Agile, right? Rajal and I, which was created. Now you can see here wherein if we have any integration settings and all to be made, we can do it. Otherwise, here we have to write the agenda, right? So agenda and followed by the tasks, etc., etc. Now here in agenda, right? So agenda topic we have to create. Agenda topic maybe, for example, I can write down as end user requirement, right? So this is what generally an agenda point which I have taken, right? So that is one thing, right, which we have done. Now, whoever the members and all everything, you can see there is a team which was added here. You can see Agile 2 was added. Now, if there is any kind of task to be added to the existing board, right? So if you want to add any tasks and all, here you can see active, where we can write them. That is one way of doing it. Otherwise, you can see there is an option called add meeting legacy, right? So here, because as I told you, effort estimation is what I'm doing, right? That's what I said here. In this effort estimation, as I told you, I am using poker gaming technique. So this is what I'm using. So add meeting, sprint poker, Agile 2, effort estimation is what I am doing, including icebreaker, all that, wherein you start meeting. Okay. Now, what we can do here, if you want to, so here, if you want to write anything of that sort, you can write on it. So I'm just writing as welcome to Raj Alumni. That's what I was just writing here. Right? So this is what I have written. Now I'm going to next, right? So what we can do, effort estimation you are doing for the issues, what is that we have created already. So what we have to do now, we have to import issues. So already I have a Jira board, where if I want, I can import it, right? Here you can see there is an option called import issues. Here we have an option called import issues, right? Yeah, import issues, where we have to choose the site, which I have chosen, and I click on accept. You can see whatever the issues I have and everything, all the issues you can see here. If you want to create any new issue and all, we can create here, right? So for example, creating a login page, for example. Right? So this is an issue which was created by me, right? If I want, I can create it. So this is what we have to do. So what is that now? For example, there were almost 49 issues. Now we want to do effort estimation for this task. Let us take the first one. Creating a login page is what the first one. Next, right? So here we have to give the story points. This is where generally this effort estimation poker gaming technique. In this technique, what normally we follow, I'll explain to you. What happen is, right, so there will be a team of, for example, team size is 5, for example, right? Team size is 5. So what we have to do now, whatever the team size we have 5, task or issue, whatever are we calling about, will be each and every task. Each task or an issue will be given to the team members, all the team members. Now they have to give some number. They have to provide some number for that. Normally, this number will be used under Fibonacci series. We normally use Fibonacci series as a number. So whenever we are talking about Fibonacci series, generally Fibonacci series like this is how it is: 1, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 5, 13, and so on. This is how Fibonacci series is being used. Let's say, for example, creating a login page is what we have taken. Now we want to vote, right? For example, someone has given 3. Someone has given 3. For example, some person has given 8 number, right? So those are all multiple things and all everything. If there is any conversation required, it means if you want to have any discussion, because whenever we are following this, normally to do this effort estimation and all everything in this 3C's technique is what we follow. In this 3C's technique, card, conversation, and confirmation. This is what generally we use. Card means user story will be written on the card or a task, whatever it is, user story. And this requires some conversation. Where we do this conversation, there is an option where this conversation can be added here. We can do the conversation finally. And finally, there is a number which was given called 3, for example, right? 3 is the number we have given. So you can reveal the votes, means multiple teams will be given. So you can simply reveal the votes where we have given 3 number for that, right? 3 number is what we have given for a login page. You can see we have given. Now, again, you are going to the scope next. Now, for example, I want to create a notification platform. This is what I want to do it. For example, right? Next. Let's say 8 is the number I have given. So 8, right? So 8. Now I'm going to the scope. For example, managing employees is what I have taken. So for that, I have taken 5. Reveal the votes. So that you can see, right? As far as the estimation itself is concerned, to create a notification platform, I have given 8 story points. If I want to manage employees and all, I have given 5 story points. Again, if I want, I can go to whatever the user story we are discussing in the poker gaming. Depends on the priority, what we have and all, right? So depends on the priority, what we have and all, we have to select, right? We have, for example, evaluation of existing options for the video solution. This is what the task I have taken. You can go to next, right? So here we have to select the story, right? So we have to select the story, right? So yeah, this is how generally the selection, each and every task will be taken, and 3C's techniques is what generally we follow. The 3C's technique is what normally we follow. In this 3C's technique, what normally we do is, so in this 3C's technique, what normally we follow is that card, conversation, and confirmation. Conversation is going on. And once conversation is done, confirmation is being given. On what basis confirmation has been given? Based on the number, what is that we have given. Assume that, for example, that estimation and all everything is done. Here you can see there is an option called end meeting, wherein you can see there is a meeting which was conducted so and so, completed user stories were 2, participants 1, right? So for example, if you want to export this to a CSV file, wherein if you want to use it or something like, you can export to CSV file and we can use it here accordingly, right? So this is where generally this estimations and all everything you can see, right? So whatever the stories I have taken, right? And whatever the dimensions of the story, followed by the votes and all everything is what generally we have to mention. So this is how generally the numbers and all everything can be given. This is how generally this poker gaming technique, which normally we used, which will be used for the effort estimation whenever we are working on the agile environment, depends on the kind of team what we have. Or else if we want to create any kind of tasks directly here, you can create it. And if there is any kind of settings to be made, if we want to create any kind of integrations and all everything, you can see. For example, integration you want to make, right? I already made the integration in the beginning, if you remember, because I have access to some use issues and all everything from Jira, right? That's the reason why it was already connected. For example, if I want to connect to the Java server or something like Slacks, all that, I can connect, that we can do it, that can be done. But of course, because as it is a premium version, automatically whatever the charges and all everything, those charges can be paid and we can use. So of course, there are a lot of tools available online nowadays, uh, but depends on the interest of the organization, depends on the team's availability, depends on the organization, what kind of tool are they going to use and all everything. Based on that, whatever the kind of tools are they using and how, uh, depends on the cost and depends on different reasons and all. They can use multiple tools and all everything to do for effort estimation on the board. But whenever we are doing effort estimation, especially by following poker gaming, all that, 3 Cs technique wherein we use, this card will be given to the people where conversation will be going on over there. So people will be given the final number. And whatever the final number they have given, that number will be, whichever is the highest number, that number will be taken. For example, there were 5 people who has given, 3 number came repetitively, right? That third number can be taken. But sometimes what happens, there won't be any coordination, there won't be any confirmation as well as acceptance happens. Again, that user story can be re-estimated because story points are not full and final. We have to understand, because there is a possibility that re-estimation can also be done. Because for example, user story we have given, wherein we have given 5 story points. Assume after that, product owner wants to add new more things and they want to add user story to the next level. Means they want to add something. So what will happen? Automatically effort estimation will also increase, complexity also increases. Equally, what we have to do again, we have to re-estimate the user story. So it may go up to 18 and 13 also sometimes, and it may come down. That's a different thing, right? So estimation doesn't mean we are doing only once. Depends on the necessity and all. Everything estimations can be done once, then and wherever it is needed. That's how generally this effort estimation we do, especially whenever we are working on Agile, to give some story points for the tasks, whatever we are doing, especially whenever we are working on sprint planning, whenever we do this sprints and all everything, effort estimations will be used this way. This is all about this video. If you have any questions, and as well as if you have any training needs in regard to the agile related trainings, all that, please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.